Hey, it's Joe AMoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. I've noticed this disturbing pattern among many of the members of our GPS for Love community. And that's very often you're afraid to have conversations. You're afraid to ask questions. You're afraid to call guys on their stuff because if you do, you're afraid that that guy's going to think you're a bitch. And ultimately, you're afraid that he's going to leave you. Now, what we're going to talk about today is that there's a difference between lovingly calling a guy on his stuff and being a bitch. So what do I mean by that? See, guys, we're not perfect. Okay? We know we're not perfect, and we're trying to do the best we can. We didn't get an instruction manual with our lives just like you didn't. So the whole life thing, the whole relationship thing, we're just doing the best. Now, because of that, we screw up sometimes. Okay, just like you, we do things which hurt you. We do things to not honor our agreements with you. And when we do that, we know it, okay? And we'll own it if we're a guy. Now, if we're a boy, that's a different story because the guys will make excuses. The boys will make excuses. The boys will say, well, that's just the way I am. Take it or leave it. Those aren't the guys, again, that you want to get involved with. But we're talking about guys who are emotionally available, who are healthy, who are unselfish, who are, generous, loving, respectful. Those are the kind of guys that we're talking about. So what do you do? So it's a simple philosophy, okay? And I really want you to pay close attention to this because when a guy will think you're a bitch is when you're demanding, is when you're saying, this is what I want, this is how it's going to be. And if you don't do it that way, there's problems. Okay? That comes across as one way. That guy feels that, you know what? I have no choice. I have to do what you want me to do. Now, I know you're saying, but Joe, but it's the right thing. He should be doing that. And what I say is there's the world as it should be and the world as it is. Human behavior is such an amazing entity. When you really understand what drives human beings and how they react and how they behave, it's so predictable. So when a person feels that they're being told what to do, even if it's in their best interest, they're going to naturally rebel. They're going to feel like they're backed in a corner. And there's something called fight or flight. It actually is part of our nervous system. So when a person feels attacked, and this, you just watch animals in nature, the quietest, most docile animals, if they feel cornered, they feel they're being attacked, they're going to do whatever they need to do to protect themselves. And the same thing happens for guys. So when you're going after a guy and you're telling him how much he sucks and he feels he's being attacked, whether he's right or wrong, unless he's really emotionally healthy and really done a lot of work on himself, he's going to attack back. He's going to defend himself. He's going to make excuses. And the reason being, he doesn't feel that he's being valued. He doesn't feel that he's being respected. So it's a subtle change, but it's going to make a huge difference. What you do is you make a guy realize that he has a choice. See, when you say, you suck, you did this, and if you don't do this, I'm kicking your ass to the curb, the guy may do it, but he's not doing it because he wants to do it. He's doing it from a place of fear. And no great relationship can ever sustain and stand the test of time if it's based out of fear. The same reason why if you're not asking the questions, if something's bothering you, if something's hurting you, and you're afraid to ask those questions, you're afraid to address it, ultimately it's going to surface and it's going to get worse and worse. So what you want to do is simply explain to him he has a choice. So here's the difference, okay? So let's say you start dating a guy, okay? And the guy says, he wants to go out next weekend and he's going to call you on Thursday. Okay? Thursday comes and goes, you're waiting by the phone, and like most boys, he doesn't call. And then all of a sudden, Saturday afternoon, he calls and says, what's up? Okay? Now, you have two choices. You can be a bitch and go, well, you know what? You didn't call me, and you know what? Because you didn't call me, don't bother calling me until you respect my time and respect me. You can go that way, and the guy's going to go, what a bitch, because you don't know what happened in that guy's world, right? Maybe he got caught up in something. I'm not justifying, I'm not making excuses. Please don't, I'm not taking the side of boys. But I'm just saying is you don't really know what's going on in that guy's world. He's never, he may have met you once or twice. He's not in a relationship. He's getting to know you. So he doesn't think he's in a relationship. He doesn't take it as seriously as you do. Not to say that he shouldn't, but I'm just saying that's how some guys operate. So if you go at him that way, the guy's going to go, what a bitch. Like, she hasn't even heard my side. Now, that's the bitchy way. That's the demanding side. That's you're saying, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm going to kick your ass to the curb. Now, I'm all for having clear lines in the sand and clear boundaries. And so the way you do that is when the guy calls on Saturday and saying, you know what? I appreciate that. But you know what? A man of integrity is important to me. And because you didn't call on Thursday, like you said you would, I simply thought that it wasn't important. And you just like most of the other guys out there. And so if I'm going to be with a guy, I want to be with a guy who's going to call when he says he's going to call. Now, you didn't make him wrong. You didn't tell him he sucked. You just told him what's important to you. You told him how you felt, and you told him what your boundaries were. Now, he has a choice, and this is really, really key. I really want you to get this. He has to feel that he has a choice. See, because if he feels like, oh crap, you know what? This woman's really good, and I have a choice. I could either call when I say I'm going to call and potentially be with this woman, or I could just treat her like crap, like I do all the other women, because that's what boys do. But the imperative thing here, the key thing here, is that the guy feels he has a choice. So that's the difference between being a demanding bitch and a person who is clear in who they are and who has clear and healthy boundaries. When you have clear and healthy boundaries, you don't make somebody wrong. You're just simply saying, this is who I am, this is my boundaries, and you have a choice. And if you choose not to accept my boundaries, that's perfectly okay. It's your right, it's your prerogative. You see, one of the biggest mistakes I see members of our community making is that, you know what, is that he should do this. This is what a guy, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing that that's not what a man does, but he shouldn't do anything. It's his life. If he wants to be an asshole, that's his journey. It really is. There are plenty of other women who are going to let that guy get away with that crap. Okay? But you're not. Okay? Because you deserve better, and you know that. And so when you stand in your power and you communicate from that place and you show a guy that, you know what, I'm not going to tolerate this, then you give him the ability to decide on what he wants to do. And he either will or he won't. And whether he does or he doesn't has no bearing on you. It's who he is as a man and how much he values having a relationship with someone like you. One of the biggest things I see the members of our community do is they take it personal. Well, I can't believe he did that. He's a boy. Why is it at this stage in the game? It shouldn't be so shocking when a boy, a guy who's selfish, immature, emotionally only available, and only interested in sex, acts the way he does. It absolutely blows my mind how women go, I just don't get it. Why do some guys do that? It's like, because they're boys. It really is that simple. Why does a cat meow? Because that's what cats do. And boys do what boys do, and men do what men do. So I really hope this helps, because if you use this information, it could literally transform your love life. It can make dating so much easier, because now it's not a matter of making somebody do what you want them to do and being a bitch, okay, or being some demanding woman. But it's about coming across in a way that you stand in your power and you honor and respect yourself first to say, this is intolerable. And if you don't want to tolerate that, that's okay. I'll go find the guy who will. So, love to hear from you. Want you to be honest. Have you been good at holding your boundaries? Have you come across as a bitch? And let's be honest, there's no judgment here. We're just simply shining light on things that will help you in your love life so you can create the results you desire and deserve. So go ahead, take that mirror time, and then put your comments in the box below. And if you have any other questions or any other feedbacks about holding boundaries, standing in your power, go ahead and put them in the box below. As always, an honor, privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.